Welcome back. If you just joined us, it is The Press live from our Abuja studio, and I'm glad to let you know that I have my beautiful guest with me this morning as I do the introduction. I have a lady and a gentleman in the house. Jennifer, who is one of my guests, Jennifer Serrano. She is here this morning, and I want to appreciate her for being on the show. Let us take a little bio. She's a dynamic force across multiple industries. She's a business development strategist. She's a lawyer. She's a designer, a singer, a media personality. A multifaceted career speaks volumes of a passion for advocacy, innovation, and community development. Today, she's joining us as a social and political affairs analyst. Jennifer, it's so nice to have you once again on The Press this morning.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here. I always say KAFTANTV is my second home. So thank you. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, so you did travel. You told me all the nice things that happened there, but the only thing you didn't do was bring me anything from the travel, despite all the names that you told me were there present. I can imagine how it went.
Oh, it was a fantastic celebration. But I would hold the people of Bayelsa responsible for that. I said we were supposed to get some fish, but no one gave us any. So they failed on that. Former President, good luck, Jonathan. Your people didn't treat us as well as expected.
Okay, we'll talk about that after the show because I still want my fish. Okay, we have another guest in the house who would help balance the discussion this morning. As a gentleman is Comrade Musa Mamman Kontagora. Comrade Kontagora is a moderator, also really news member of the President Media team, and this morning is joining us as a social affairs analyst. It's so nice to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you very much.
And I need to let the viewer know how difficult it has been to get hold of you to be on the show. I've more or less chased this man. The only thing he didn't call me was a terrorist and a kidnapper. And so anyways, I am glad that you were able to make it this morning on the show.
Thank you very much.
All right. This morning we shall be taking a look at a very important topic, like I did expose while I was doing the newspaper review. We're taking a look at Nigeria's false economic policy on the prioritization of local industry, but there is a catch. We want to take a look at its benefits beyond rhetorics. If you stick with us, you get to find out why it is important for us to take a look at this new policy. And of course, the bottom line of the policy is made in Nigeria, telling Nigerians to look inwards. It's one thing for you to give policies, it's another to ensure that we see them through. So we'll be taking a look at that this morning. Now first, like we do it, the state of the nation. I would want Jennifer to tell us a state of mind on the state of the nation, Nigeria, this morning.
The state of mind of Nigerians.
Your mind.
My state of mind. So I am of the opinion that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is taking all the right steps in terms of policy, because policy first. When you have the right policies, then everything else should follow through. So for example, the one we're looking at today, Nigeria First, and a lot of fantastic policies that's supposed to stimulate economic growth and development in Nigeria. A lot of it has been put in place by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, so I would say kudos to that. The positive effects of these policies, however, are yet to trickle down to, as we like to say, the grassroots, to the everyday people. So everyday Nigerians feel things are more difficult, things are harder, things are more expensive. But as far as professionals tell us, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is taking the right steps. So we only hope that in a matter of time, maybe not too far from now, Nigerians will enjoy the benefits that he's taking to ensure we have a stronger Naira, we have a stronger nation. So that's where I'm at. Change is not something that often that you can see the results immediately. Change, transitioning it's a process, it takes time. So I believe over time we would get a better a more prosperous Nigeria for all persons, not just the capitalists.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, Mamman, this is where you come in. You've heard what Jennifer said, though she didn't say anything about security, which I was hoping she would refer to. But again, that is our opinion, a state of mind on Nigeria this morning. I would want you to help do the same before we delve into our discuss.
Well,
the state of mind.
My state of mind is
state of the nation.
State of the nation is security is the business of every Nigerian. This is not the business of the security agency. It's not the business of the government. It's the business of everybody. Every hand needs to be on deck in order to fight and challenge security. We also need to come together. The rainy season is fast approaching. We need to come on deck. Community leaders, farmers, the government, the lawmakers should give the necessary support to our local farmers in order to cultivate and tip the soil for us to have to have that bridge of hunger in the country. And then thirdly, I'm calling on the youth of Nigeria. Nigeria is a country that is full of opportunity, but I see the youth are trying to divert into that. Using that opportunity, they are diverting into what, relying on some certain individuals, whereby we need to come together to let our youth understand that there is a place in government, there is a place in government, there is a place in innovation, there is a place in science and technology, there is a place in culture and tourism. For instance, every musician starts from somewhere to get to the higher. Every manufacturer starts from somewhere. So we need to get it right in this country. It is though it will be the fault of the president, since he's the commander-in-chief, but he gives orders. The rest is the other citizens should do the needful.
All right. Now, on that note, we will now go straight to our focus for this morning. And our focus is looking inward, because that is the vibe and the feeling that I actually got from this new policy. Yesterday, the Federal Executive Council, FEC, presided over by the President, Tinubu, held a meeting. The meeting tagged Renewed Hope Nigeria First Policy, aimed at strengthening Nigeria's domestic economy and, of course, prioritizing local content. That is the focus of the meeting, more or less. The policy focuses on accelerating industrialization, promoting manufacturing, and, of course, leveraging on digital technology. The question I'm asking as we start from the top is the fact that in a country where Nigerians love ostentatious living, if it's not imported, it is not important. Everything has to be imported, up to toothpick. It is not news that Nigerians import toothpick. But the question I'm asking from the top is, did we actually need to have a policy that will reawaken the consciousness of Nigerians to the fact that we need to begin to invest in ourselves? We need to invest in made in Nigerian goods, and not just that, begin to use them. I'm asking the question. I think I'll start from Jennifer. Why do we need a policy to reawaken our consciousness at a moment like this?
Okay, so I've always been an advocate of made in Nigeria products. I've always advocated that the only thing we have power over is what we do as a nation. We cannot control, foreign policy. For example, we've always complained about how the naira is getting weakened in the market, hence the inflation, because we import most of what we use, what we eat, what we drink, what we sleep on. It's always imported, and in another person's currency, which is the US dollar. So until we as a nation are self-sustaining, where we produce everything that we consume, or at least most of it, our economy will always be weak. And we must understand that there's competition. In terms of production, in terms of quality, sometimes made in Nigeria goods may not meet international standards or may not meet the standards we are used to. So most of us would prefer to buy something from another country. For example, we say, I'm one of those people that I believe I should wear locally made clothes. But I know the hassle, the cost of making something locally. For me to get a decent dress made in Nigeria, it would cost me 10 times of what it would to import something from Turkey or the UK or somewhere else. So I'll just say, you know what, I can't do with Nigerian tailors. I'd rather just buy ready-made from somewhere else. So this has affected locally produced local industries, because for standards, for quality, and sometimes for cost, it's easier to buy from outside than to have it done on the inside. So this policy, I believe it will be enforced, because if it's just thrown out there without enforcement, most of us would not will not change our purchasing habits. And for any country to grow, for any nation to be strong, we have to move from being consumers to being producers. That's how a nation like China came from nowhere, and you know, they're waging this war, and they're so confident that they're about to be, possibly even arguably, China is the world superpower economically, because they produce everything, and they don't have to rely on anyone for almost anything else. So Nigeria needs to get to that point, and more of us need to support Nigerian made goods. But I also would like to say, what we lack in Nigeria is this what I call excellence in production. And I had a fashion outfit, and I remember I used to tell my staff, excellence means doing the thing correctly the first time round without waiting for someone to correct you. But generally in Nigeria, because we lack that customer service, we just like, oh, I'll just do it anyhow, and they will just take it anyhow. So if we really want to enforce this Nigerian first policy, we need to work on excellence, we need to work on service delivery, we need to work on customer satisfaction. Even in our telecoms, we advocated for a long time, oh, we must have a domestic satellite, we don't need DSTV from South Africa. But what's the service delivery of our homegrown services? Even in telecommunications, we had, I don't want to mention names because I'm not advertising for anyone. We had some telecommunications that came from another country, and they were strong, and then they were, you know, locally purchased or, you know, handed over to Nigerians. But what is the service delivery now? So Nigeria First is a great idea. Enforcement is necessary, but don't enforce us to take rubbish. Let the service delivery be excellent.
Okay, Mamman, well, Jennifer said that we need to take a look at service delivery. Probably the reason why Nigerians love outside, not inside, is the fact that our products are not up to par with those imported. A lot of people will argue with Jennifer on this on the long run, but I would want you to react to that. Do you really feel that the reason why Nigerians will import toothpick is because we don't have pantries in our backyards? Well, that's just saying it very in a very low level. But talking in terms of other manufactured goods, she actually mentioned the production of made in Nigeria and clothes from Turkey, that the difference is very, very huge. Again, I want to find out if you agree that maybe the problems we have with our products, or the desire or the taste for foreign-made goods, is because we don't put in enough effort.
Okay. Every patriotic Nigeria should commend the president for his effort in order to take this step. But there are 2 to 3 things that need to be done.
Okay.
First is, as she said, a lot of Nigerians see those products as they are not up to the standard. So what we need to do is, there's a foreign investment chain within Nigeria and a lot of countries that we need to come together and collaborate for us to have a higher quality product. That is number 1. Number 2 is we need our manufacturers, our businessmen, to come back to the country to make an investment. Now, the policy have been made. It is for the benefit of every Nigerian now to come together as one especially the southern part of the country and the west, they are used to this. But I'm calling to the northerners now that have all what it takes. They should please come together, manufacture those components, bring in foreign investors that will come together with them, partnership with them to have a higher standard goods made. If we could have taken this policy for like 10 to 15 years ago, by now we could have been perfect even in the global standard.
Yes.
And then another thing is we need to stop this thinking that what is made in Nigeria is not up to the standard. The Innocent Motors is made in Nigeria, and it is one of the strongest car that can rally around the Nigerian roads. No matter how the roads are complicated, the car passes through. We have a lot of companies that produces drugs. We need to support these companies. They are our own. They carry the brand of Nigeria. This is high time that every Nigerian need to come together and make hay. This is the right time. We have a lot of children coming up now. This generation have the very easiest way of learning. Let us build, let it be created into the syllabus. At least as there is an entrepreneurship, there should also be a craft. You understand? For local students, for students to learn to be innovative. If you go to China, a lot of these phones that are being made are made by the little children in school.
Yes.
So we need to start from there. And this is not the responsibility of the federal government alone. The state government needs to support. The National Assembly, the lawmakers need to support the president. If we could have been making this product in Nigeria, we will have a very shortage of unemployment.
That's true.
Security, because if a youth has something doing, you won't come and just bribe him with 100, 200,000 to go and kill life. You understand? Number 3, our economic will grow higher. You understand? Now, and number 4, we will have a lot of foreign investors. We will have a lot of partnership because Nigeria has a very vast land. Nigeria is a country that is blessed with mineral resources. There's nothing in this world that we are not having. Every blessing that God has given a land, it is given to Nigeria. So it is now high time. And I believe Nigeria is not a fanatic country. You see, a politician if a lot of our senators are friendly within themselves. A lot of our traditional rulers, they are friendly within themselves. A lot of our entertainers are friendly. You understand? So those bad eggs among us should please give peace to reign. This is a new dimension we are taking for us to be proud of our country.
Now, talking about new dimensions, this indeed is a shift in the policy, the economic policy of Nigeria, if we follow the policies through.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So it is important for us at this moment to take a look at the importance of economic growth as a nation. We cannot say there's enough. Nigerians are going through a lot presently as a people. We should look at policies beyond just what we see on paper, policies that will affect our lives physically. And most times when we talk about Nigerians, we often refer to the common man. I was watching a documentary yesterday, Jennifer, and it was a foreign documentary, an American documentary, where one of the people in the documentary was talking about the common man. I was like, so when really people talk about common man, they have common people over there, because most times people will say we keep talking about the common man, the common man, the common man. Because the common man makes the bulk of, they are the grassroots of population. We're talking about the grassroots. There is no development, there is no movement without focusing or starting whatever you're saying or doing from the grassroots. So I want us to take a look at the importance of economic growth to any nation, why this policy is important right now, as we try in layman terms to let Nigerians understand the benefits of economic growth and the need for us as Nigerians to look inward as a people. Look at ourselves and not the government.
So pointing fingers
all the time. Please, Jennifer.
Okay, so I've always been an advocate of looking inside. And the way to go, everywhere I go, I would say industrialization. As a person, as a group of people in your local community, you have to look at what you're blessed with and learn how to produce something from it. So first of all, I would say the educational system of Nigeria, which was handed to us by our colonial masters, was flawed. I had the privilege of not being educated here. So my reasoning, my rationale is always different from people that are hungry. So in Nigeria, you're taught to go to school and get a job. That's the educational system that we have.
You have to be educated to become something in life.
Go through your 6-3-3-4 and get a job at the end of it.
You don't agree?
But if everyone's going to get a job, who's going to create the job? When we're not being raised to create jobs. So I had part of my studies in Switzerland, and what I observed there was hardly do you meet anyone who has been to university. But yet Switzerland is one of the strongest economies in the world and in Europe. That's why they could even afford to say they didn't want to be part of the EU. Because from primary school, all you need is your basic literacy, your basic maths. After primary school, the next step is a lot of them go into what we would call technical training. So I want to be air conditioning engineer. I want to be a hairdresser. I want to be a travel agent. So I start getting work experience as part of my studies from existing businesses. So I do 3 days at my training where I get practical training, and then maybe 2 days just writing paper. So by the time I'm 16, I'm fully qualified, fully licensed as a painter or a heating engineer or car mechanic or this. So I have a job. I can even create jobs. But you see, the 6-3-3-4 system teaches you that don't be productive, just go to school, write pen and paper, and then after the end of it, I have a certificate that most of the time I have no work experience, I have no practical knowledge of. Then I go and become a liability to somebody who's employing me and teaching me everything from basics. That has been flawed, and that I've always advocated against through my NGO. And I want to thank persons that I've met who I see of recent in this renewed up administration who are thinking differently. Like the DG of ITF, he's really thinking of how to better the lives of the artisans. So we need to move away from somebody must give me a job. And this is what is causing insecurity. This is why we have Yahoo boys and all kinds of ills in the society, because like, I went to school and nobody gave me a job because they were never trained to create jobs. And nobody has to give you a job. You can very well create jobs and be an employer of people. And so we were taught differently. So from an early age, we were taught a lot of skills, a lot of vocation. So even through school, I worked. I had my own businesses. I've always had businesses because we were raised that way. Don't be somebody who's just acquiring paper knowledge. Have skills, have practical things that can bring you money. And that's what we need to focus on in Nigeria, not fingering the president all the time as failing. We as people need to develop ourselves.
Let me bring in Musa now. I really want you to react to that. We're taking a look at the importance of economic growth to a nation. Beyond rhetorics, we want to find out, not pointing fingers like Jennifer said, but looking inward. If we're going to look inward, let's look inward. It has to start with self. When people talk about change, we've come to understand that if you need that change, it has to start with you. So how do I change as a Nigerian? What are my contributions as a Nigerian to ensure that these products we're talking about are the best? They can compete with any nation. How do I start as a Nigerian to begin to get independent of myself and contribute to the growth of the economy? Why is it important for us to ensure that we grow our economy as Nigerians?
To add up to what she said, first I have to appreciate her. She has said it all. Because when I was growing, I was being trained by a productive family. After school weekends, I would go to the nearby shop mechanic to learn. Sometimes I hit my hand. When I come back, I will show. My grandmom will tell me, I'm doing this for a reason. So, and after the junior secondary school, I went to technical school, the building department, where I learned to what? To just sit down, create blocks. Nigeria have this initiative, these ideas for long, but supporting it is what is needed. I'm pointing fingers on our politicians. Yes, as a politician, as an upcoming politician, stop giving money to youth to buy cars, to buy phones, to go and misbehave around. Those things are just for a little period of time. Go back to those training institutes we are having. Those institutes were being created by our colonial masters, are being created by those leaders, past leaders. They need to be renovated. I believe if a child is being trained the way I was trained in secondary school as a technical student, I don't depend on anybody. Even before coming to the political terrain, I was a tiler, I was a painter. You get? I use it to there are a lot of things I need to do for myself before my parents will do it for me. So, going back to the situation of this country, Nigeria is in a mess. Because every youth today believes when he see a car, his dream is to own that car within 20 minutes, which is not done like that. We need to sit down, settle our mind, let us be creative. Let us believe in ourselves that the government must not provide for me as a citizen to grow. You need to provide for yourself. You get? So when we have that belief to provide for ourselves, that is when the government will be getting it ease to give security, to give social amenities. You understand?
I do.
So we need to please, I'm calling on our youths, I'm calling on all those that are needed. Please, we need to have an advanced Nigeria in the next 10, 15 to 20 years to come. So that the unborn children will understand that it is not just going to school to acquire knowledge. We have a lot of doctors, we have a lot of degree holders there doing nothing. What I believe is Nigerians should come back with that system of education that what? There should be a technical field, a professional field. Let us not just call law, doctor, engineering professional field. There should be a creative professional field. Journalism is a professional field because this is one of the best way to give people knowledge. A lot of people pay fare to go to YouTube now to get the knowledge instead of going to school. So there should be an accolade to all those that are into the journalism. Okay. And we need to come together as one. If Nigeria could have been divided, for long it could be divided. But for it to be one up till now, we need the young generation to come together. Let us support ourselves. Let us support the government.
All right. If you just joined us, it is the press, and our topic this morning, very important, Nigeria's first economic policy on prioritization of local industry. We're taking a look at benefits beyond the rhetorics. We'll take a short break, and when we return, the phone lines will be open. Then you can call in. I've had lots of missed calls while my guests were talking. It's your turn. So when we return, make sure you call in and have your say. Stay with us. Yes, welcome back once again. It is the press, and you have the phone lines right now, so you can call in and be part of the discussion. I've given you the license to call in now, and your calls will be answered. Before the break, my guests were actually letting us understand the importance of economic growth as we take a look at the Renewed Hope Nigeria First policy, which is, in layman terms, looking inwards, making sure that you prioritize made in Nigerian products. The policy focuses on accelerating industrialization, promoting manufacturing, and leveraging on digital technology. We're talking about benefits from the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President Tinubu. And some of the benefits that I got was these benefits should show that you're a true Nigerian, keep local factory going, boost the economy, encourage foreign investors, showcases our social and cultural values, of course, even development in the country. All right, Jennifer, I want to see how, if we get it as a people, talking about made in Nigerian goods and services. It's not just the goods, we're talking about services, which you also pointed out when we were talking about getting it right the first time, which is the policy that you share with those working for you. How will this impact on foreign investment in Nigeria, if Nigerians can rise up to the task and ensure that we improve quality of our goods and services? How would this, beside ensuring that we patronize what we make, because there will be a desire, because if the quality of the goods improve, there will be a desire for Nigerians to patronize more and more instead of looking outside for toothpick and what have you. Again, I want to take a look at how this would increase foreign investment in the nation. Do you see this at all making a change in terms of that or not?
Okay, so let me take you back to, I believe it was 2014. We had the World Economic Forum held here in Nigeria under the administration of President Goodluck Jonathan. And I was in faraway Switzerland, but I was so proud because the forecast of the World Economic Forum at the time was that Nigeria was the 14th largest consumer economy in the world. 14th. So we're somewhere behind, after the USA, after places like India, we're top in Africa. Why is that? Because we have over 400 million strong population. And as of that time anyway, about 60% of that population could afford to purchase anything. We had purchasing capabilities. So Nigeria has been 14th at some point, largest in terms of world ranking as consumers. So imagine we channel that into production. So we could potentially be 14th strongest economy in the world. What does that mean? We produce enough for ourselves. We produce enough to sell to other African countries. Because I'm an advocate of Africa. Beyond us selling to people outside of Africa, if we traded even within West Africa alone, within the African countries alone, we would be a very powerful nation. And foreign investments, while it's good, I always know that investors are not, they're not charity organizations. So they give you one, they come to take five. So I'm an advocate of how do we find a way to pool funds within maybe our ECOWAS region, our AU region, produce within ourselves, have those free trade agreements between ourselves, and let's build Africa. So we have the potential to be 14th strongest economy in the world. That's where we should be looking at. And every one of us has a role to play. Don't always look at other people. Let's look at ourselves. Something occurred yesterday, which was very painful to me. So I have a group, and I always advocate every Monday everyone should post their goods and services, whatever you're doing. And I observed that out of 1,000 members I have on the group, only about 2 people actually have a business. So I have 900 thereabouts Nigerian youths who have nothing doing on that platform. And that's why you can see them. They came out yesterday on a Monday morning to protest. Now, I'm from Lagos, and they say Monday is Ojaje, which is the day where you're supposed to involve in commerce, you know, economic development. So instead of being out looking for money, we're out on a Monday morning making noise, causing mayhem. That is an indication of the problems we're facing in this society. Our young people don't yet have anything to do. The orientation, there has to be a shift. There has to be a shift in orientation. You can help yourself. You're not helpless. You're not without talents. You're not incapacitated, only mentally, and that you can change. I always tell young people when they come to me to beg for money, and I ask them, okay, so let me see your phone. And you see young people who don't have anything to do, they can't have an iPhone. I'm like, even I don't own an iPhone. So you have a phone of $1 million, and you're coming to ask for help money. What do you want to do with this money? When you hear, oh, I want to buy hair. Oh, I want to buy clothes. Like, no. Why don't, if you ask me for money to go into palm oil production, production, or even making, soap, I would support that, but not for you to consume. So that shift is really necessary.
Please, the phone lines are open. Before the break, I got 13 missed calls, and now I need those calls to begin to come in so you can be part of our discussion this morning. Not just us here. You have the topic in front of you. We're taking a look at the benefits of this new policy on prioritization of made in Nigeria, more or less. So please bring the calls in. So Musa, I want your take on, you've heard what Jennifer actually said. Do you see this shift that she's talking, shift in orientation, where Nigerian youth should look not to government but to themselves? And not just that, we'll talk about improvement in goods and services, making sure they improve themselves. We've established here that you don't need the 4 corners of a school to be productive. It's just your mindset. But do you see this new policy actually, if we actually rise to the challenge, do you see foreign investors coming in to say, look, there's something going on in that nation, let us see how we can invest and of course get a bit of the pie?
Okay, what I have to say first is the government have done its best in the passing it to law. But still what is need to be done is these 2 ministries need to work hard in order to ensure it is not just a paperwork. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Trade and Investment need to come together. The foreign investors, a lot of them are scared to come into the country for some of the reasons that they thought when they come, they are coming here to just, that initiative they have, that idea they have, it will be fed. So what the ministry need to work on is the free zones we are having need to come back to full functions. You understand? Let it be plain for any foreign investor that is coming. If he reach that agreement, he has all the criteria that is that the country needed. Give him opportunity to come and partnership with some of our manufacturers to create a lot of companies. And also for state governments, they need to create more free zones in every state.
Okay. I think we have our first call. I'm sorry, Musa. Let's take the call. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
It's Collins.
Your name is Collins from where, please?
From Binitie.
Okay, Collins. Go ahead, please, Collins.
I was to your analyst in the studio, Kontagora. There is one question I want to ask him.
Go ahead.
Now they say we should believe in our local products. Are we really ready to patronize our local product? If you look to so many of them now, there is a time during the regime of Buhari This man came from the east, this innocent of 18. They used tax of 18 and drive him away to Ghana. He is an indigenous company. If you look at during our time when we are still young, we have Michelin, we have all these products, these tires, good products in Nigeria here. We use our hands to just chase all of them away. If one really wants to patronize our local product, then we start it from the top. From the previous years, which I happen to know and hear from our elders, the president, our president then, they use Mercedes. Some use this GL 504 wagon. Now, just our House of Assembly now, what they are using is this SUV. Are we encouraging ourselves? The problem we are having of insecurity now is because of all these things. Somebody was like saying something when we are sitting in a bar, sometimes, was it last month or April? It's a very young guy, I don't know where he came from. But the way he was talking, I see to it that most of the problem we are having, more especially that brings about this insecurity, is because of idleness. Some people can endure hunger, but some are not even ready to endure anything, not even clothing that we are talking of. They want to live high. And all these things brings problems.
Okay. All right, that's how time will take on that conversation this morning. So, Mamman, he asked a question, or the question became a statement saying that this Made in Nigeria looking inward has to start from the top, which he was referring to government. I want your reaction on that, because he rightly said they use SUVs. SUVs are not indigenous to us, they are imported cars. He made mention of Innocent, that he was frustrated. We all knew the drama that period, but I know we have Innocent in Nigeria presently. So he's saying, more or less in layman terms, do as you say, not asking us to do what you say and not do the same. So I really want your reaction on what he has said, because he directed a question to you.
Well, the answer to his question is just, let me say it, let me answer it based on the zone we are. We are all from the North Central. I think the governors of North Central need to bring the states together, have a channel of displaying what we have, the way Onitsha is, the way Aba is, the way Port Harcourt do. We need to have that channel in the North Central. It can be in Kogi, since Kogi is mostly the center, where all the commodities, all the product that we have, we are blessed with, can be displayed. That is when I'm talking of creation of free zones by states. You get? A lot of these things produced within these states are being exported. The red oil are being exported abroad, and they will package it and bring it back to the country. You understand? The fruit we have will be taken to be bring as juices. So the most important thing here is he ready to challenge himself? Let him use the goods first.
Okay, let us take another call. Good morning. What's your name, please, and where are you calling from?
Hello?
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Kingsley.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Calabar.
Okay, Kingsley, go ahead.
Okay. I'm calling from Calabar.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. For my analysis there, is that. Okay. Hello?
We can hear you. I don't know why you refuse to talk. Okay, so Collins, if you're watching, I think Mamman just gave you, is it yellow card? Or he passed the ball to you, but you still you've not answered the question.
Yes.
Because he did say that we should
lead by example.
The government should lead by example.
A lot of the vehicles being used by the Nigerian police, the Nigerian army, are innocent motors.
That's true.
So the state should also use that. You understand? They should also use those vehicles at their state official vehicles.
That's true.
It is not only the federal government that will support production, because a lot of things are being taken from the local areas, which is the state. So the state needs to give a free zone where those things will be displayed. I believe the way the federal government has mandated the ministries to use innocent motors, if state governors also do the same, believe you me, it will be everywhere.
Okay, we just missed one call. Please bring the calls in. Now, I want to ask Jennifer, how would this new policy create even development for Nigerians? We're talking about we're talking about the importance of economic development now. It's more or less like a general term, but how would this help develop from state to state and will create even development across board for Nigerians if we actually look inward and prioritize ourselves?
Okay, so what we're blessed with in Nigeria is we have a varied landscape across, states, local governments, and every region, every state has something that they can produce, and something required either domestically or by others, and the purchasing power of Nigerians consuming or consumerism is across Nigeria. So we eat rice in Abuja, and somebody in some village, I don't know if KAFTAN is the village, I'm just picking one. Yeah, they eat rice. So if we produce locally from region to region, thank God for the plans of the regional governments. There's a plan for regional development commissions, I think.
Yes.
So if each region is able to produce something that they need and can be transported or purchased by other regions, we're looking at a general development across. So in each locality, in each state, in each region, they are producing and they are creating employment. They are generating revenue, and reducing unemployment means prosperity, also means reducing insecurity region by region. So this is the way to go, that each locality, each region, each geopolitical zone can take responsibility to make sure that they carry all the components, all the communities within their region together. Which I have to say, kudos to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for working out this regional development commissions, and I hope that they are fully functional, so that each region can develop themselves and everybody won't keep pointing fingers at Abuja. So as my colleague here says, the Northwest would be responsible. Okay, what do we have? What are we producing? What are we adding to the GDP from our region, and something that we can use to trade? So maybe it's palm oil you have in your region, maybe it's mangoes you have in your region, maybe it's limestone. Every region can work on whatever raw materials they have, produce it, and then aside from local consumption, use it as exchange, or sell to get revenue back. So we're looking at across development.
Now, because of time, I want Musa to come in here, even as we talk about even development, which will cut across all the states of Nigeria. We want to see how that will help us cut rural-urban migration, because that has become a huge problem in terms of insecurity. You cannot separate this rural-urban migration from what we face as a people in terms of insecurity. Insecurity in Nigeria comes with different faces, from bottom to the top. So how would looking inwards, becoming creative, you ask Collins a question, what will he bring to the table? And even if he decides to have a change in orientation by looking inward, would he use what he produces or produce? So how would this new policy help to curb urban or rural-urban migration, in your opinion?
Well, we Northerners, we are known with farming. But now, let me say, 70% of the north are no more farming. We are trying to bring in what we are not used to.
Which is?
Which is, let me say, the business of maybe believing we have crude oil. Let us find a way to run helter-skelter to live what we are blessed to eat in order to go back to the other dimension. But it is very important. Let me cite an example with my governor, the governor of Niger State, the state I came from. Niger should try by all means to go back to what it is known as farming. It is a shameful thing for Nigeria to not be able to feed itself.
It's its population.
Yes, because we have this mass land. There are some lands that people are not even dwelling there. They are fertile. Everything is there. And now farming is even easier. With these farm implements, we are having tractors and a lot of little mechanism for farming. So why is it that our youth will sit down and said he is waiting for the government whereby there is an easiest way of farming? You understand? Let us start from where I come from, where I am. If we go back to the rearing of cattle, to the rearing of cows, to fishery, I believe all those animals we are having, they have skin, and the costly shoes now and bags are made from hides and skin. We don't longer produce, or let me say, cattle rearing, or let me say, you don't have farms again where you have those animals anymore. Everybody is feeling big. So we need to go back to where we are being founded.
Go back to the grassroots.
Now the foreigners have this initiative of what? Exporting those animals to them. And there they give them all they need in order to grow, remove the skin, and then bring it back to us.
So there's a need for us to go back to basics.
Every locality.
We've been told we don't have enough time, so I want us to round up. But first, we need to talk to ourselves, because everything we've said now is about the youth. And a brief second, how important this will show you as a true Nigerian, and of course, how will this ignite in us that spirit of patriotism? We're rounding up just in a few seconds, looking inwards. Why is it important as a Nigerian to be aware? As we round up in a few words.
Okay, so our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has showed that his heart is in the right place, putting Nigeria first, encouraging local production, encouraging people like Dangote to produce fuel locally, domestically, and this Nigeria First policy is also a step in the right direction for patriotism. It is wrong for us to continue to allow foreigners to take our natural resources, our mineral resources, and all the beautiful raw materials that we're blessed with as a nation, and we fold our hands by idly because we're too lazy to work. So as a Nigerian, I tell myself, and I'm telling you who's watching, that look inwards, look in your community, look at what you can use to develop your community. Let us stop the blame game. Nigeria first, you first. Thank you.
Musa.
I'm calling on our youth, please stop this idea of japa. You are blessed. Show the talent in your country. Now, the president have passed it to law. If you have any idea, there's a Ministry of Trade and Investment. There's an agency that deals with innovation. There's a lot of sites in Abuja here, in the Edu, where a lot of companies are there. I know a lot of young people that have excelled, Tijani, Shehu, and the rest of them. So we need a youth that thinks he has that way of pressing phone to steal somebody's money to become a billionaire. You can still make those money in what? Using your idea. And let us be peacemakers. Peace does not mean you can just sit down and
be idle.
Okay,
so we'll take one call before we go to add to what my guests have said. So go ahead. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. My name is James Farayola. I'm calling from Niger State.
Okay, go ahead, James.
Yeah,
you're doing a very wonderful job at KAFTANTV.
Thank you so much. We appreciate.
Keep it up, okay?
Thank you.
So you see, what I just want to say is that you see, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has a very wonderful policy of this Nigerian first policy. You know, it's a kind of replica of Donald Trump, what we have in America now. What we currently have in America now with President Donald Trump is a kind of replica. So you see, it's a very, very nice policy. And if this administration can go on, can pursue this policy holistically, it's going to benefit the economy. All of us are going to kind of enjoy to boost our GDP. You know, the unemployment rate will definitely go down. Understand? So because our people will get job, the expatriate quota will be reduced definitely. So you see, now what I just want to say is that we should extend to the oil sector too. You know, these maybe we have Dangote refinery running for now. It's giving us fuel for now. So the importers of petroleum products, you know, those depots and tank farm we have in Lagos, you know, and apart from them, they should stand an executive order to stop those importation.
Okay, so that's all time we'll take this morning. We appreciate you. We appreciate our callers. Collins from Binitie, Kingsley from Calabar. That didn't say anything, just raise our hopes. And of course, our last caller, James from Niger State. We appreciate you. Of course, my guest this morning, I appreciate my guest this morning, Jennifer Serrano. I want to appreciate you for being on the show. I know I didn't get that name correctly. Jennifer Serrano, I want to appreciate you for being on the show this morning. And of course, I want to appreciate Comrade Musa Mamman Kontagora. I appreciate you and hope to see you once again on this set. And for those of you who watch the show, we appreciate you for always being there. Don't forget that tomorrow is a date on the press, Monday to Friday, every week. And make sure you keep a date for tomorrow's The Press. I am Anire Binitie. For me, stay positive and keep hope alive. Bye for now.